Hi everyone, Chef Brent here. I thought it'd be fun today to show you how to make a proper French omelet. So I say French and not American because there's a little bit of a difference. French omelet is meant to be bavose, which is a French term that means moist and juicy. And in order to create that, I'll be explaining like what we do. But the difference between the American and the French version is a couple of things. One, in the American omelet, we tend to cook the omelet all the way through by pushing the edges of the omelet from the edge of the pan to the center as they cook until it's fully cooked. And then we let it brown a little bit underneath and we fold it over in half and then slide it onto the plate. Whereas with the French omelet, instead of pushing from the edges to cook the eggs, we move the pan and we stir the omelet all at the same time. And what that does is it prevents the eggs from setting, completely setting, creating a nice, beautiful, delicious, moist curd. And that's what we want. And then we turn our heat off because we'd like to get no color, whereas in the American omelet we tend to get a little bit of color browning on the bottom. We turn the heat off so that we'll have no color, and we'll move fast so we can get the omelet in and out of the pan with no color. And we will roll it into a classic cigar or cylinder shape. Okay, so that's the difference between a French and an American omelet, and I'd like to show you how to make a classic French omelet. So with that said, let's talk about some ingredients. So I have a few things here for you today, but feel free to put your favorite egg accompaniments into your omelet. Anything that you would do for scrambled eggs is fine. For example, today I've chosen some sauteed mushrooms, a little bit of diced ham. We have some bacon, always love favorites. I have a little fresh herbs. I have both cilantro here and some fresh basil. I love basil personally myself. We have some caramelized onions. We have some sauteed peppers and sauteed green and red peppers. And we have a little bit of shredded cheese. The shredded cheese is going to help us at the end because we want to move quickly. So having the cheese shredded, it'll melt just very quickly at that very last minute. Okay, so that's our ingredients. Let's talk about equipment. So the only things that I would say are very, very important is that you have a no-stick pan, Teflon pan if you will, or a ceramic pan, and a silicone spatula. These two are must-haves. Trust me, you'll thank me for it later. Can't live without them. Okay, so that's our two main pieces of equipment that we'll need. And then we're almost ready to begin. As long as you have your ingredients sauteed ahead of time, set aside so that we can put them in the center of the omelet to fold inside the omelet at the end, we're ready to begin our omelet. So what we can do is we'll take a couple of eggs and we'll crack them. Notice that I cracked them on a flat surface. I'm not going to crack them on the edge of the bowl because if we do that, it tends to push the egg shell into the egg, and then that'll wind up in your omelet and nobody wants that. So a little tip, crack your eggs on a flat surface and then into your bowl and you won't get any shells. So then what we're going to do is we're going to mix the eggs, and I like to use a fork because you want to mix the eggs, but you don't really want to incorporate a lot of air into them. So I find a fork works best for that. So we're going to whisk the eggs, break them up. And we're just mixing the yolks with the whites until they're uniform, homogeneous. And you don't see any of that kind of clumping going on. So just keep mixing. And then we'll season them with a little salt just before we put them into our pan. Okay, that looks good. Okay. Okay, so next we're gonna take our pan and we're gonna get it hot. So turn your heat on to a medium-high heat. Our ingredients are ready to go. Our eggs are whisked. And we'll just wait about 30 seconds or so, let our pan get a little hot. We're gonna put about a tablespoon of butter in. Now don't worry about a tablespoon of butter. Some of you might be thinking, oh, that's a lot of butter. But the butter is actually gonna help us butter's our friend. It's a lot of flavor, and the extra fat from the butter is actually gonna help our eggs stay moist and tender. So when our pan's hot, we'll put our butter in. And we just need it to melt enough so there's enough melted butter coating the bottom of the pan. We don't want the butter to color. We don't want any browning on the butter. So as soon as you have enough to coat the bottom of the pan, don't worry about any of that extra unmelted butter, because that's gonna actually help our eggs stay nice, moist, and fluffy. And as soon as you start to see the eggs set around the edges of the pan, we're gonna move the pan and we're gonna stir the eggs with a spatula. And that keeps the eggs from setting as we do that. And then we should have enough heat in the pan. When you see most of your eggs, there's a little moist on top and the eggs are cooked, to cook the omelet the rest of the way. So I'm gonna kill the heat and I'm gonna add some of my ingredients. So I'll take a little bit of mushrooms maybe. Moving quickly. Maybe a little bit of onion. It was nice with mushrooms. And maybe a little bit of ham. And why not some fresh, beautiful herbs that we have cut here. Choice is yours, anything you'd like to put in there, and a little cheese. Let's not forget some cheese. Okay? So then what we want to do is we want to take the spatula and we want to loosen the omelet in the pan. And then I take a towel, because I'm going to tap on the pan and also move with the spatula. Coax the omelet to the edge of the pan, and sometimes tapping on the handle a little bit when you get close to the end. Helps nudge it to the lip. So you're just going to tap, 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 tap. If you need a little nudge with the spatula, push it over. And then fold the omelet over onto itself. And then we're going to take our plate and we're going to catch the lip of the egg that's hanging over the pan to the plate, and then we're going to let the omelet roll. We're going to roll it over onto itself out into the pan. Feel free to use your hands if you must. And there you have your classic cylinder or cigar shape, no color omelet. And then what I also like to do is I like to take a little bit of butter that you reserve for the end, and either with a brush or the back of a spoon, we can just rub a little bit of butter. Again, butter's our friend, delicious flavor. And that's going to help keep the omelet moist and delicious. And there you are. And you know, you could have this for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Eggs are really great for any time of the day. I like to serve, for a quick meal at night, make myself an omelet and serve it with a little bit of mixed greens with a simple vinaigrette that you can make with a little olive oil, one of your favorite vinegars, a little salt, pepper, maybe a little bit of mustard. And you have a quick, simple, easy meal. Beautiful French omelet, cooked babos. And if we did it right, we can see that we still have a moist, and tender center to our omelet for that classic French omelet. And that's it. Thank you. Hope this is a welcome addition to your egg cookery that you can make at home. Enjoy.